GNT Show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. These are the voyages of the GNT Show. Our continuing mission to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to Boliga, where no show has gone before. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the GNT Show, episode 232. I'm Terry Lynn, and to my right, your left, in the center, and all places at all times, is Midnight Shadow. Steve, thank you for helping me out.
That's okay. Hello, everybody.
Our good friend, we don't know what we would do without Steve sometimes, I tell you. Well, poor Mikey's probably sleeping in this morning.
User joined your channel.
Oh my gosh. Did he hear us in the background? What was that? Oh, it's your broadcast bot.
No, that's just my bot, because I'm going to do an extra recording.
Oh, excellent. Okay, cool. Mikey's probably sleeping. I hope he's doing okay. Nick is celebrating his honeymoon this week. Congratulations to my Nick. And poor Janet is a little under the weather. So I'm going to be doing the show with Steve. And again, thanks for
your channel started recording,
giving me an opportunity to talk back to somebody instead of trying to do a solo show, which I would have done because, I'm just that way, just talking a microphone. And that's the beauty of the chat room. We have the people talking in and saying hi. So a little coffee clutch. This gets to be still edited, hopefully, in the future.
What did you do this week? Coffee clutch.
So Steve, what did you do this week?
Mainly catch up on work after a week off with my son. It was school holidays. So, for a change, I didn't actually get any calls from work, which was different.
Excellent.
It doesn't usually happen. But no, enjoyed a week just doing stuff with my son. We started building a new USS Voyager model. So we got as far as drilling holes, because we decided instead of just having the windows painted, what we're going to do is stick some LEDs in there. So we had fun trying to sort of get the drills hold. We'd got a mini drill. Only thing is it was too fast, so it kept melting the plastic around the drill. So it's just like, oh, damn.
Oh my gosh.
So we didn't get too far with it, but we'll have other holidays to do it. That's the great thing about those models, is you can take your time. There's no rush or anything else with them. So we've made a start. I've got all the bits and bobs to actually sort of play with it and to sort of make it now. The only thing that's missing is the LEDs.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. How big is it?
It's big.
It's big. It's big.
Yeah.
It's big.
I've just got the main saucer section, and I reckon that's about 35 centimetres in length.
Oh, okay. Wow, that is pretty big.
Yes.
Holy moly. Very cool. And you guys just started it this week, huh?
Last week we spent sort of a day drilling that. We spent a day just cuddled up watching Deep Space Nine.
Nice.
Then another day just cuddled up watching The Flash.
How fun.
Went out with his friends. So
that's awesome. And how did he enjoy his first convention?
Oh, he absolutely loved it.
Did he?
So
that's so great.
Sort of a boys' weekend away. Unfortunately, First Contact Day, which was the convention that I went to, they actually got a cease and desist from CBS.
They did.
As people may remember. So they put on a sort of a mini con, because they still had a few guests that attended in the end, because they'd got basically some people had already said, right, we're still going there. So Claudia Christian, I believe, was the one who sort of headed that up. Just said, look, I'm still coming. Do you want to put something on? So in the end, we had Claudia Christian, John Carrigan, Aaron Eisenberg, and Chancellor Mortok himself.
Nice.
J.G. Hertzler, who attended.
Wonderful.
So what they did is they put on a mini-con. They actually had a lot more people attend than they thought would do.
Excellent.
They put more chairs out. It was really good.
Very cool. The Poison Fox, it's my understanding the C&D letter came out from CBS and Paramount probably right around the same time the lawsuit was filed. against Axanar?
Oh no, this happened.
It was beforehand, wasn't it?
This cease and desist happened. Was it beginning of February?
So
This was
just a few
actually
weeks
related
after.
to
Okay.
the Destination Convention.
That is part of it. Yeah, their
Yeah.
destination is the licensed Star Trek convention in the UK, or in Europe for all that matter. And I'm sure they were the ones that were like, you know what, we paid for this license for a reason.
Exactly. Now, the thing is, they were issued a cease and desist because, especially as they are up near Birmingham, they're
Yes.
actually just about 15 miles out and a few months before. So, as soon as Destination Star Trek Europe was announced,
Yeah.
they got the cease and desist.
Yeah. And really what they were trying and really what they were doing was they weren't told cease and desist your convention. It was cease and desist marketing yourself as a Trek convention.
Yeah, well, they weren't allowed to have certain things there to do.
Right,
with
like the
Trek.
bridge
Yeah, so
and
they
some
had to
certain-
make other plans.
Right.
So, after Claudia Christian basically said, look, I'm still coming. Do you want to do
Right.
something?
Right.
So,
That's cool. I'm
it-
glad that it still went forward.
But the thing is they're a different type of convention. They do this for charity.
Right.
They hold auctions, and they still managed to raise about £4,000.
Fun. Wonderful. That's
So-
fantastic.
That's around, I'm trying to think, it's probably $6,000. And that went to several charities, including
Nice.
Claudia Christian's charity itself. I think it's C3. I'm trying to think now.
Oh, very
yeah,
cool.
she's got a charity that she sort of heads up. And
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad that it went forward, and I'm glad they were able to find some alternative things for the attendees to do. I know.
it also included a meal as well.
Wow.
People paid to attend a meal. So my son and I, we went to that, and yeah, he had an extremely late night. I think we got in. Actually, my son lasted a lot longer than a lot of the adults, to be honest. Most of them went home well before he did. But no, he had a fantastic time, and he was up dancing with people, and I didn't go dancing because my ankles were really bad anyway, especially after driving 3.5 hours to get there that morning. So I just sat watching him for the most part. But yeah, he had a great time. He was dancing with loads of people, and some of the dance moves he was doing, in Star Trek Online,
Yes.
got all the dance moves that you do.
Oh yeah.
He was actually doing all the Star Trek Online dance moves, including the robots. They were going, "What dance move are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, this is from Star Trek Online." And when he was actually telling people about Stowe, some people who hadn't sort of heard of it. And so, when I posted some of the pictures of him, got a lot of nice comments about my son and how he was nice and friendly and talkative and polite. And so,
Very cool. Oh, I'm so glad you had a good time, and I'm so glad he had a good time, and that will bring him back and from many times in the future, I hope.
oh yeah, well, one of the good things is that they didn't cancel the convention. They
Nice.
actually delayed it till next year.
Okay.
So we still have our tickets for next year.
Wonderful. Oh, so they're even just going to. Oh, that's great.
So yeah, we've still got our tickets. So he's already looking forward to next year's.
Excellent. That's wonderful news.
So then the Sunday, because that was just a one-day convention, we then headed over to some museums. So we went round a Victorian town where you've actually got people who are sort of dressed up in the time and will tell you what's what. And there's also an Ingenuity museum as well, where it shows you about physics and all sorts of things and loads of other bits. And so we spent a day out and just had some fun before heading back.
Very cool.
So what about you? What have you been?
Oh, what did I do? I was I traveled to Chicago for work this week. I was in Chicago on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I got back yesterday morning. It was fabulous. Kind of, it was a legal seminar for the Defense Bar, the United States Defense Bar. So it's essentially a nonprofit organization that's operated by the defense attorneys that make up of the Defense Bar. And this was a special group of people who focus solely on insurance coverage, which can, for some people, it's pretty dry. I'll admit it's pretty dry. But I had the time of my life. It was probably one of the most educational, really well done seminars. You're a coverage nerd. You're an insurance or a legal nerd when you're sitting in a seminar, and the one on like day 2, and the speaker goes, "Okay, well, have a great night, everybody. Thanks for letting me speak, blah, blah, blah." And I look at my watch and it says 5 o'clock, and I'm like, what? What do you mean it's 5 o'clock? The day flew by. It was so much.
When you're having fun.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I was a nerdy thing. And, but what was really nice is I got to meet in person, speaking of the second night of the conference, I got to meet Jen Uselis, our wonderful Klingon pop warrior. I even call her Pop Warrior Princess. And Andrew Wonders, a talented musician, and he had just moved from Seattle to Chicago. And Andrew has done some music for me. He's done some music for another podcast. I think he's done some music for Priority One. And he's a talented composer and just a all around really, really sweet guy. So
I think
the
he's also
three of us
recently been appearing on the Gatecast as well.
Oh, yeah.
Stargate podcast.
Yeah. And he's just really, really fun. So we went to fantastic tapas restaurant on Thursday night. It was excellent, just excellent. So we had a wonderful, wonderful dinner, and I was able to, get back to the hotel and actually get a decent night's sleep before the conference started again on Friday. I was hoping to meet up with Elliot Serrano, who you may know from comic books and Red Eye Chicago. But unfortunately, the weather did not really cooperate when I was there. When I got there on Wednesday, it was raining. And I thought, oh, it feels great. I love the rain. And I knew it was going to be cool. I knew it was going to be in 40 degrees. So what would that be, in the 10s or something like that Celsius? And
yeah, because I think it's
it's in the single digits Celsius. Yeah. And so it rained the first 2 days I was there, and it started to rain a little heavier on Friday. And it was beautiful and clear on Friday evening when I went out to dinner. I went back to my hotel room after dinner, and it was cold. And I thought, God, it's getting colder. So by the time I got back into the hotel, I was very happy to, but when I woke up on Saturday morning for my flight, I'm really glad I woke up early because there was a couple of inches of snow on the ground. I was like, what the heck happened here? So it was beautiful, though.
Are the flights still going?
Yeah, well, the good news is Chicago, it takes a hell of a lot of snow to shut down the airlines in Chicago. You just de-ice a couple of times and you go. So leaving
Chicago, that's known as the Windy City.
It is known as the Windy City. It's known as
American TV doesn't teach people things.
Yeah, the Windy City. It catches the name more for the political wind that it blows. Okay. For a very long time. Yeah, Chicago's had a very heady political life. And everybody said that it's a windy city because of all the hot air that blows from it. So let's move on. Actually, I know Mikey isn't with us, and we do hope that he's okay. We're just assuming he's getting sleep, but we do not know that for sure. Before, though, he did send us the links for today. Did you get a copy of them, Steve?
No, I didn't.
Okay, I will forward them to you if I can. I think I can do that, can't I?
Should be able to.
I don't know. And I'm going to start off with let's see. I always like to start off with product news.
I need more Star Trek stuff. Product news.
And today, yes, you can. It's safe, Trend Micro. It's safe. Jesus, it's so funny. There is some new product that has come out, and once it loads, it'll be fine. Oh, what is this? Star Trek New, The Ultimate Voyage store. Star Trek The Ultimate Voyage is the concert series that is traveling the United States for the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. And Let me put the link in the chat room. Da-da-da. And they have a store, which is actually kind of nice because if you can't make the concerts like me, because I live in the middle of bumfuck Egypt, you can still buy some of the tour paraphernalia. So they have hoodies, t-shirts, posters, CDs, and this actually really kind of cool t-shirt with the Star Trek Enterprise made up of all of the different orchestral instruments, which I think is very cool, very unique. So you can, or let's put it this way, if you made it to the concert but you weren't able to pick up a t-shirt, now you can still do so.
There are some nice t-shirts.
Aren't they cute? Yeah.
And what I like about the photos is you haven't got them all smoothed out. They actually look like t-shirts.
Right. And if you hover your mouse over them, they expand. Yeah, so you can actually get a better detail.
On the hoodie, it actually switches to show the back.
Oh, that's nice. And the next thing we have on deck is from StarTrek.com. A little bit of news regarding a new game, Star Trek Ascendancy. Gale Force 9 has announced the summer release of Star Trek Ascendancy. It's a strategy board game, and it pretty much highlights what we all know, and that's usually the conflict between the UFP, the Klingon Empire, and the Romulan Star Empire. It looks a little bit like, what's the other one? The other ones that with the little models that you can use.
Yeah, I was just trying to think that.
Hero Clicks. Kind of looks like that a little bit. But according to StarTrek.com, they will, let me see, when is it coming out? Oh, in the summer. So probably around July, it sounds to me like. You can visit Gale Force 9. Let me see. I'll even put that separate link in there too. And it says released summer 2016. The completion, oh, by the way, Gale Force 9 is pleased to announce the summer release of Star Trek Ascendancy, the strategy board game of exploration, expansion, and conflict between the United Federation of Planets, the Klingon Empire, and the Romulan Star Empire. The competition for supremacy widens later this year with introduction of 2 expansion sets, including the Cardassian Union and the Ferengi Alliance, which is... So I want the Ferengi expansion pack. So that's kind of cool. It also uses a detailed plastic model of the ships and things like that, which is pretty fun. And where did there it goes.
Matthew Anderson
There's
says in
a very, you guys are going to love this.
Settlers of Catan.
Huh?
Settlers of Catan is what this game reminds Matthew Anderson about.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that in a big way. Diamond Select Toys, you guys, is coming out. Let's see, I'll just read it because it's awesome. Let me put the copy in and I'll put the link in the chat room. All right, the classic Mego Enterprise playset comes alive again with the Star Trek, the original series Retro Bridge playset. Available now from Diamond Select Toys. This thing is freaking awesome. It is so 60s. Actually, it's pretty 70s if you think about it. It is lovingly recreated by Diamond Select Toys. The retro set retains all of the main features of the original release, enabling your 8-inch retro cloth figures to explore the galaxy with interchangeable view screens or to vanish with the turn of a transporter dial. Boasting the familiar fold-up design, the playset morphs into a carrying case. It is $60 from Diamond Select Toys if you want to purchase it. Did you see this? Can you see this?
I've just put the image into the...
Isn't it hilarious? Oh my God. I almost spit my coffee when I saw it. I was like, holy crap, that is just my childhood right there. That was pretty awesome. Yeah, see, Poison Fox, you had one too. See, I always went with the boys' toys because they were just so much more fun. Although I did have the Barbie hair head. It was just a big head with hair, and it wasn't because I wanted to be a cosmetologist. No, it was because I really wanted to learn how to braid, and if you rode horses, you had to learn how to braid because you had a horse tail and a horse mane, and they didn't have horse heads to practice with. The Barbie was the closest thing I could come up with. So
I used to have to braid my sister's hair because I used to look after my brothers and my sister. So he wanted to do something and have her hair put back. He used to ask me to braid it, so I taught myself to do that. I got okay. It didn't hold in place for too long, but it did for how long she was playing outside.
Yeah, everybody in the chat room's kind of going, "Oh man, $60? That's a bit steep for cardboard." And
$60 for cardboard.
Yeah,
I'll pass.
I can understand. I really can. I can understand. But at the same time, I mean, it is a recreation of a toy that was cardboard, and yet at the same time, I'm sure that they're not expecting a large volume of sales on this one.
Yeah, which is probably what hiked the price up a bit as well.
I'm sure. It's pretty funny though. Now one of the newer things, I actually have to say I really like this. But then again, I'm a big mug collector. I have 40 Star Trek mugs. I do. I'm not kidding. I think 30 or 40. And they have come out with a new one. StarTrek.com has a new ceramic stein available for $17.99. It is 20 ounces, and it features the silver Star Trek Delta with the command insignia in the interior. And it's kind of nice and simple and dark blue and silver. It's very pretty.
The way it sort of curves at the top reminds me a little bit of a bullet, to be honest.
It kind of, doesn't it? It kind of reminds me of a little bit. Kind of like the Mario Kart bullet.
Yeah. You just need the top end with a bit of teeth. And
with some teeth on it, yeah. So that's kind of cool. And then the SS Raven has been announced and will be a part of the Starships collection by Raven or Eaglemoss.
Oh, I saw that a few days ago. That looks really good.
Doesn't it? I'm excited about that. And I like and for those who don't remember, the Raven was Seven of Nine's parents' ship.
Yeah. The ones they went AWOL with. Yeah.
And, ended up getting assimilated from.
Yeah. I must admit, I was looking at it thinking, that's familiar. Which one is that? And it took me, and the thing is, for me, Voyager's my favourite series. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, why can't I think which one this is? And then I sort of read the blurb. Oh, yeah, Voyager, Raven. Just like, yeah, my head hurts too much.
Have you ever seen that fan film, the fan video, where they've done a kind of a, I don't know what to call it, just a kind of unique, kind of a splicey video of everything regarding kind of her youth, Seven of Nine's youth and her family, and they've set it to the music of The Raven by Alan Parsons Project.
No, I haven't.
It's spectacular. It's excellent. It's an excellent video, and a tribute video is a good way of putting it. A tribute video to the character. So if you guys get a chance to roam around YouTube one day, I would Google that, kind of like, The Raven, Seven of Nine or something like that, I guess. But it was good, and so yay! I'm glad. What's funny is that here I was thinking, Eaglemoss isn't going to have a whole lot of ships they're going to be able to do, but I know that they're coming out with the retrofit, the NC, the NX-01, the retrofit. Or I should say not retrofit. The one that's kind of like the missing link between the NX and the 1701.
Yeah.
The one that Doug Drexler did and then was never featured in the show.
Because it was supposed to have been, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was supposed to have been. And one that actually the design got approved, and Eaglemoss is actually going to make it.
But didn't they have the Columbia instead? Wasn't that supposed to have been the episode where we see the Columbia, but it should have actually been that ship?
Is that what it was?
I think so, but that could just be people.
I don't know.
Talking. I'm not sure if it's fact or not.
Yeah, and that does kind of end our what we have for product news today. But I do want to say that last week during the product news, we had talked briefly about the complete sets of the TNG, the new complete sets that are coming out. Instead of having to buy single season sets for the Blu-rays, I guess last week I had said something along the lines that the TNG complete DVD set was the remastered version, and that is not the case. TrekCore DM'd me or actually tweeted me this week and said, just a note to make sure that people aren't confused. The TNG Complete DVD set is the old version. It's the non-remastered version only. You cannot get the remastered version on DVD. If you want the remastered version, and it makes sense because you're going to want it in high def, it's going to be on Blu-ray only. So you can get the Blu-ray set complete series, and I know it's different for you in the UK. We call a series all of the series, or season and season and season. But the complete show, all 7 years in one set. You can, if you want the remastered version, you have to buy the Blu-rays, which makes sense. So there you go, Trek Core. I said it and I've clarified it. Let's move on. We do have some general news.
What's new in the Star Trek universe? General news.
What is he saying here? Oh, teaser posters. Yes. There are some teaser posters being released. How do I say it? The pictures of them, right? CBS has how do I phrase this? A couple of weeks ago, there was somebody who posted a picture of what was supposed to be this teaser poster, and it was and we knew it was all like a photograph of a poster hanging in a hallway. So for us, it was like, well, wait a minute. Why is this a legit teaser poster when it's just a photograph of what looks like, just something kind of thrown together? Well, now there's been some additional news that has come out, and it's really not news. These are just beautiful pieces of art and teaser posters that don't give us a whole lot of information as to the new series, but they are out there. And one of them I'm posting. This is from TrekCore. Again, our buddies over at TrekCore. I love Adam. I love Mike, and I love everybody over there. So Star Trek, the poster shows the Star Trek Delta, kind of like the original series Star Trek Delta with the command symbol in the middle. And it just says Star Trek boldly going in 2017. That's kind of it. That's really kind of it. It's on a star field. Now, of course, the fandom is kind of going, ooh, does that mean the new series is going to be set in or around the original series? And I don't know. I think that's the best question anybody's asked, and that is, we don't know. We don't know anything about the new series at all. Zero. I don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing that's been released.
Zero.
And the thing is there's nothing that, as you said, it doesn't show anything at all about what it could be when it's set. Is it taken boldly going because that's just
exactly
something people say you're boldly going, you think Star Trek. So, boldly going in 2017. So,
yeah.
Well, I don't think that's a hint to when it's actually going to be appearing.
I think it was it's just what happens when you work for a company that's pitching its new shows or trying to entice people into seeing what's going on. If you've ever toured a studio or ever hung around studios, God, and here's the pathetic thing. I mean, it's just how it is. Even when I was growing up, and Universal was like the studio that was closest to my house, and I was there all the time. And hanging on the sides of the sound stages were kind of these made-up marketing materials hanging on the side going, coming this year's Battlestar Galactica. I'll never forget that. I will never forget the big hanging sign of, the Battlestar Galactica logo. And there was zero defining character to it. It was just like Battlestar Galactica. I'm like, what the heck is that? Right? Nobody knew what Cylons were because the show hadn't come out yet. So this is really just taking property that they own, the Delta, the Star Trek, throwing it together and saying, we're coming up with something new. It's not indicative of anything, folks, as much as we would like to think that it is.
Because we don't even know how many episodes they're doing, do we, for this first season?
No, we know nothing.
Even that information's not been sort of released.
Right. There is an excellent, or there is a article that came out this week, though, that from Movie Pilot, which talks about Nicholas Meyer's potentials, kind of ruminating on what he might do, right? So this person sat down at Movie Pilot and said Meyer has already commented on what we can expect from the 27 series. And he said that Meyer hinted, that Brian Fuller sees Meyer's film The Undiscovered Country as a taking off point. Although this hint is cryptic, the themes in this film seem perfect for the new show. Personally, I don't disagree. So here's the thing. If Steve, what's your opinion? If you ended up with, say, a show that kind of takes a jumping off point from The Undiscovered Country, how would you feel about that?
The thing is, to be honest, I always see them, because you've either got a couple of options of how they're going to take this. Either they're going to start it from scratch, so you're going to have a new Prime universe.
Right.
Or they're going to continue later on, because if they do what they did with Enterprise, they're sort of stuck with so much other things. Now, yes, it's definitely possible, and there's so much fiction out there that's got it within the current universe or the current Prime universe, but it can be quite limiting if they want to do something new and continue the stories without it having to hook back into too many sort of lore as such. Lore, then I think they'd probably base it afterwards, but to put it in between, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but it doesn't mean they can't be inspired by The Undiscovered Country, especially in light of, God, personally, I would still love to see the Prime universe and how the Federation and the Klingons deal with a very fractured Romulan society after the destruction of their homeworld.
Yeah, the thing is, if they're releasing it to Undiscovered Country, it makes me think, well, okay, if at this point, because of course we know that there's more peace between the Klingons and the Federation, that if they're going to take it sort of after when JJ got his hands on it, no Romulus or Remus.
Right.
And what happens is you've got the same thing that happened in Undiscovered Country, where you've got the assassination of the Klingon command, High Chancellor, sort of thing. Then, yeah, if there's that fracture between the Klingons and the Federation again because of something that's happened, which could also be related to things that have happened with the Romulans or even the surviving Romulans, you've then got, again, these three big, well, not three big, because of course a lot of Romulans have gone at that point, but you'd have again these three factions which are pretty big.
Yeah.
The Cardassians are sort of limited to what they could do because of what had happened in the Dominion War and their losses.
Right.
So you've got this sort of, you've got the galaxy in turmoil. People trying to sort of clamber to the top and rule, and it's a time when the Federation would, I suppose, be out there trying to sort of enforce the peace and everything else with, everything going to shit. So that would make a really good starting point if the same sort of storyline from Undiscovered Country was the pilot.
Yeah. It would be interesting. It would be very interesting. Again, we know nothing about what really will be the end result or what the show will be about, but it's been fun to kind of fantasize, I guess, about it.
That's the thing. There are so many points in the timeline and stories that anybody can go off and, you've just got to have a look at the stuff that's coming out in the novels. You can just take these things anywhere and everywhere.
Right. So how would you feel if the show ended up being pretty much 100 years later, and as much as it makes me roll my eyes, but it's set in a different galaxy? That maybe the frontier is no longer the Milky Way, but the Andromeda.
Well, it would definitely give something new to it, and especially with the CG that you've got, you could do so much with different alien races. They wouldn't always have to be bipeds and things like that. I suppose it depends how much money they're going to throw at it, really. Because we know when it comes to things like Stargate Universe, they tried very hard not to have always the traditional aliens sort of thing.
Yeah.
But again, it cost an awful lot of money to do that.
It did. Yeah, Stargate Universe and I ended up not parting ways after the first two episodes.
No, I actually really liked Universe. I liked it being a lot more dark and gritty,
and that's what works great for other genres. And I'm not saying that Star Trek can't handle, like I said, Star Trek can totally handle some dark shit. It really can. it just doesn't need to be that way all the time.
Oh yeah, but no, them being in a different galaxy would definitely work. And the thing is, if you're basing it 100 years in the future, then it's also the time travel, because you're heading towards having the ability to time travel within what we know of the sort of Trek lore and timelines as it is. So
Oh, that's true.
we always get with Star Trek time travel, but whether or not they can actually try and do something properly with it. And if it is the Andromeda Galaxy, well, you've also got that from the original series that relates to the Andromeda Galaxy as well, which could be brought back in and even sort of story told from that and sort of continue from sort of the Kirk era as well. Because what were those aliens that they met from the Andromeda Galaxy?
I don't remember. I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember.
So, but yeah, there's just so...
Chat room?
Matthew Anderson.
We don't remember.
But yeah, they can just go in so many different ways.
They could.
And until they actually release something.
We'll have nothing to have hissy fits over.
Yeah.
Right?
As Trekkies, we can suggest so many different ideas.
I know.
And that can just be, say, oh, well, from this episode, they could do that. From this episode, they could do this.
Sure. It's fun. It's fun to think about all the different things that they could do. And hopefully, let's just face it, it doesn't matter what they do. There's going to be a faction of fandom that's going to be all pissed off.
Oh, yeah. To be honest, if they're going to do something, what I would like is the first series is to literally, they just talk to David Allen Mack and go, right, we're going to use Destiny.
Yeah. I would love that.
Used some parts of that storyline, because where they go from there, even if they didn't go with the way that the novels have gone, it could lead to so many different avenues for storytelling and good TV. But yeah.
Oh, it's going to be fun. I put a link into the chat room for the next kind of a snippet that we're going to talk about and briefly. So there is just for anybody who wants to know, there's a new documentary series coming out from Bad Robot and J.J. Abrams that's now available for viewing on YouTube, I believe, that Robert Picardo, of course, the doctor from Voyager, has been interviewed for, because he's a big advocate for space exploration, as are many Star Trek celebrities. And he sat down for an interview with X Prize, and StarTrek.com was able to post his interview or a snippet from his interview. So if you guys want to see what's going on with the Lunar X Prize situation, it's kind of nice to see that some documentaries are, on this have still come out. So that link is in the chat room. And then from there, astronomers with the Calgary chapter of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada conducted their own search for Spock in Vulcan, Alberta, Canada. And in doing so, they made a rather unique discovery, one that quite logically will result in the addition of Mr. Spock to the Canadian Postal Service's upcoming collection of the Star Trek, the original series stamps. So I'm going to put that link into the chat room as well. So yay, Spock stamps. Say that 10 times fast. Spock stamps. Spock's stamp will join Captain Kirk and the USS Enterprise, who have already had their images unveiled by the Canadian Postal Service earlier this week. So that's kind of it for the general news. And moving on. Let's talk about some gaming news, because I know, Steve, you are a Stowe player and you cover Stowe. You talk about Stowe, you're on Troubles and everything else.
I want to play a Star Trek game. Gaming news.
Essentially now, this week, I'm going to put the link in the chat room, we have new visual slots for our ships. Essentially, we have costumes for ships. I mean, just the way that the visual effects look, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of people who they don't know how to turn them off or manage them. And of course, if you want it to visually look like something that you have on a particular engine, for example, you have to have that engine fitted.
You actually have to have it. You have to use that weapon or use that deflector or whatever.
Yeah, because you've got deflectors, shields and impulse engines,
Right.
which give you specific looks.
Right.
Now, for example, the Ages set, that's one of the ones that you can craft.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get generally any level. Now, that has some really good visuals, but of course, if you want to use it, you've got to have it kitted out on your ship.
Right.
But now, in the same place that you see the mastery, your stats, and your loadouts, you will now have a new tab there. Now, at the moment, it is only the deflector, the engines, and the shields that
Okay.
you can actually slot in there.
Okay.
Now, there are some things like the assimilated module. Now, that will still work as it currently does, where you slot that into your ship and use it, you will get all the little Borg things showing on your ship.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't done any functionality regarding consoles like that. So those ones, they don't change.
But you think they'll add them in the future?
It's possible.
Definitely.
You've got visuals, so if you want to have something else, they just need to expand that functionality. But this is a good starting point for that.
It's funny is that if anybody wants to know what this works like, I can tell you right now, it works almost identically to what's the way that you costume your character in Lord of the Rings Online is very different from how you use the tailor in Star Trek Online. In Star Trek Online, you have, and it works very, very well. You have so many costume slots, and then you can purchase the costumes, but they end up in kind of like a big list, right? So you go to uniform, you go to say pants or the lowers, and you can go to loose fitting or whatever, and you can select whatever costume you've purchased, and you can just kind of slot it that way. You can also purchase costume slots to allow you multiple different looks without having to slot individual things every single time. The costuming for the ships, this new visuals setup for Star Trek Online, works very much like the way that you can slot visuals for or costumes on your character in Lord of the Rings Online. Where in Lord of the Rings Online, same thing. If you've got certain weaponry and armor, that all gives you a look, right? It all gives you a look of how your character wants to be. But what happens when they actually have visuals that you either win or buy that comes in a little card, not unlike what we do here when it comes to a slotting item. And you can armor your character out in a certain way, but you don't have to look like that. You can wear dresses or they have different just visuals only that you can get, and then you set up a different tab called costumes, and then you just drop where you would put your armor, those little slots, just like this, and you can just say, okay, this is how I'm going to armor myself, this is how my weapons I'm going to have. But the visuals on this one say, I'll trust me when I say that there's a couple of visuals that are just so horrible that but they actually have a store, so you can take your character into a store and buy a whole new outfit that just looks the way it does. There are zero numbers associated with it. It doesn't give you any benefit to weaponry or armor. It just gives you a pure visual. So I love this idea, and I love the fact that they're starting with ships. If this comes, I'm just telling you, if this comes out and you're able to kind of change, your look of your ship just by the weapons that you already have sitting in your bank, I can't wait. I hope it does expand. I love the idea of just how it starts off right now. So it's cool.
I must admit, I did find it curious that they went down this route, because just like you have the character creator in Stowe, you also have the ship designer as well, where you can say which parts you want your ship to look like, colours and everything else. So it did make me think, why have they put that here instead of having those as options within the costume creator for the starships?
Well, that is an interesting question. Although I have to say, it makes sense to see it all. It means that you don't have to go to the ship's tailor to change it out.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And I think that might be one of the reasons why. But it would have been it's because they're always trying to find ways to drive people to the social hubs. So
right. Well, that's true.
Having that would have been another way to do that, because a lot of the changes they've made means that you don't have to do that anymore.
But here's another option. Now they can create costume-only pegs, right? costume only rewards. Now they can give you a reward that says this ship makes your ship look like this, and it doesn't have to be a weapon.
Yeah. So you actually get the rewards. So you get a shield. It could be the same sort of shield that's actually out there already, but the only extra thing on this shield that you're getting as a mission reward, because we're now, for the most part, we're seeing featured episodes coming out every sort of
Right. And I see this as options that you can do that they can put into the low-buy store. They can sell ship costume pieces now in the low-buy store.
Especially if they upgrade it, so you've actually got extra slots, so you can say, right, this console, that one. So yeah, as we said, it's easily expandable.
Yeah, I think so too.
Starting point.
Yeah,
and also it means that it gives something as well for PvP peers as well, PvP players.
Right.
Because what you've now got, usually
you can hide what armor you're wearing.
Yeah, because usually you would just disable the visuals, so people don't say, you're using
he has
kit.
Yeah.
But now you can actually have visuals, but you can have it as a visual of something completely different.
I'd love
what
it.
You're using.
I absolutely love it. I think it's a great idea. I think it's something that it's a great foundation for, I hope, their ability to expand it as well. I think that's going to be awesome. That's kind of cool. I wonder if they'll be able to do that with weaponry. Probably. That's just awesome. Fun. What else do we have in Star Trek Online? There was something else.
Well, we've actually got season 11.5
coming up this week, isn't it?
Yeah, Tuesday the 12th. So they've once again, like they have done the last couple of years, it's a Tuesday release. That's more than likely because if there are fixes and problems, staff are there.
Yep.
They've then got a couple of days to get it fixed and investigated to then hopefully have a patch out on the standard patch day of Thursday.
And we can pretty much assume that the Foundry will be taken down like normal?
It depends on the changes, but yeah, usually it does happen. It always depends on what has actually been updated,
right?
With regards to whether it's just taken down and stays down for a certain amount of time because they have to republish everything, or so it can vary. But not quite sure what's going to happen come Tuesday. I haven't yet seen any notes on whether it will or won't be. But as a general rule of thumb, if you do the Foundry and you're an author, expect it to be down.
Yep. I got the pre-patching last night.
Yeah, they actually started pre-patching about a week and a half ago. So they've sort of started that a little bit early, just to sort of make it that when it comes to launch day, we haven't got
it doesn't kill us
trying to download everything. Especially as a lot of players these days, they disable from the launcher in-game patching. So it means they download everything. So it sort of takes off some of the bandwidth used, and it also makes it a lot quicker for people when they go to play. They're not having to wait as long as they would have to.
Well, I think it's going to be really fun. I'm very much looking forward to getting some new content into the game. I admit, for some reason, it felt much like a much longer stretch than it really is, but it just felt that way. You know me, is like I eat up story like there's no tomorrow. But to be honest with you, I haven't had a whole lot to do because the queues have been very quiet. The PvE queues have been very quiet, trying to wait for somebody to join me in Undine, or even the bug hunt was just kind of pathetically slow this week. It was just not a lot of people were in game, and but I crafted the snot out of stuff this week. I was making upgrade modules like you wouldn't believe. Just sitting, I would start a new set, and that's what kills me about the crafting is that you have to be sitting in front of a fucking computer to fire it up and do it. If I could do this from my iPad, I would be doing it all day. I just wish we could.
It's a bit like with Star Trek Timelines, you're sitting there crafting all these items, you're just thinking, if only I could be doing this for Stowe.
Yeah, I could totally be. I would just love to do it. Now, speaking of timelines, Star Trek Timelines Michael gave us a link to speak about today, and that is an announcement that came out from Disruptor Beam that said, we're happy to announce that Disruptor Beam is hosting our first player gathering of the year in conjunction with PAX East 2016, DisruptorCon. DisruptorCon will they're calling it DisruptorCon, will take place on April 22nd from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Harpoon Brewery Beer Hall in Boston, Massachusetts. Whether you're attending PAX East or just live in the New England area, they'd love to have you join them at the event. You'll meet up with fellow Star Trek Timelines and Game of Thrones players, as well as the Disruptor Beam team. Hi, everybody. And enjoy some drinks, light snacks, and fun Timelines and Game of Thrones activities. They will have giveaways, meet the devs, customer support folks, and me. And then it's Becca. Hi, Becca. And so if you guys, let me put that link to the, it's from their forum over at Star Trek Timelines.
On the topic of PAX East,
Yep.
On the Star Trek Online live stream on Friday, Laughing Trendy announced that Perfect World Entertainment will also be attending. So you'll have the community manager from Stowe and from...
at PAX East?
At PAX East, yeah.
Seriously?
As well.
That's fantastic news.
So you've got Neverwinter and Stowe being represented from Perfect World Entertainment.
Wonderful. It's nice to see them getting out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But going back to Timelines, did you take part of their event last weekend?
I did. Let me see. I did. This was the new event that the Arachnia.
Yeah, the holodeck one.
Yeah, it was fun.
How did you get on with that?
I got both of the characters, but that's because they came in my pack. I spent some dilithium. Dilithium and went to the time portal, and I got Behold. And so I got the Arachnia character, and I ended up with 3 of the Tom Paris's.
So did you make him?
The Captain Protons.
Did you merge him to a 3-star, or did you keep them separate?
No, I merged the snot out of them. I merged the snot. I have to merge my I have to merge my characters. I think I have 68 now, and I have 100 slots.
I think I have 80 slots.
So I try to keep that. I try to keep that. Yeah, I try to keep them up to date, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to sign into something here real quick. Sorry, I'm a little bit. So yeah, I did partake, and it was very fun. I only got 2,000 points because they started getting really, really hard. Those missions started getting really, really hard.
Well, I did find that if you failed 2 or 3 of them, you started getting some easy ones again.
Oh, okay.
Yay!
Yeah.
But I came in at position 2,162.
Oh, wow.
Mike did really well. I think he finished something like 200 something.
Are you kidding?
No.
That's amazing.
Charlie did play a little bit while we were out for the weekend, because of course that weekend I couldn't spend a huge amount of time, but while we're waiting for things to happen at First Contact Day, we were both playing Star Trek Timelines. So because what I'd got is my old phone Charlie was using to take photos and video, so I'd installed Timelines and created his own character, so he was playing his own character on that, sort of leveling that up. So he came in at position 54,039.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I was probably way down there too. It was just I didn't have a whole lot of time, and now that it's playing on my phone, I have it on my Android now, and it's working far better than it did on my iPad. My iPad itself is just being, I'm not sure if it was an iOS update that's just being, or if it's the fact that it's, 4 years old and it's just not loving me anymore. It just crashes all the time now, so I'm kind of bummed.
You can't go wrong with data.
Huh?
Android, don't worry. Too early.
So yeah, and then what they have is it a new that was for First Contact Day. That's right. The First Contact Day, they had like a 2-day event.
Yeah.
Where you might you could have gotten
I think they actually extended it by a day as well. They did extend it to 3. Only problem is, if like me, most of the dilithium that I get is actually from the 100-day or 100 dilithium a day pass.
Yeah.
There isn't enough to to actually get it.
Right. I did not get him. I did not get him. Yeah,
I'd spent way too much last weekend. So it's just I'm not getting that one.
I'm not getting that one. Hopefully they'll have him back for next First Contact Day.
Yeah.
That would be great. And speaking of First Contact Day in Star Trek Online, they did some giveaways. I think there was 3 of them total.
Yeah, the first one that they did.
Was the Phoenix Admiralty card?
Well, that was actually the second one. The first
Was it?
one was a duty officer, the Borg. You got,
User in your
Liberated
channel
Borg
is
duty
recording.
officer.
Okay. I did not get that one.
Oh, right, yeah, but the second one was a Phoenix Smallcraft Admiralty card, and the third one was the Assimilated Assault Cruiser Admiralty card. But surprisingly, because I've got to do... One of the good things about this was they did it that one, it wasn't a giveaway per day, it was running over 2 days.
Right.
That meant more people had more chance to sort of get in and claim. And also the fact that once you'd claimed it once, it created a reclaim item in your account C-Store. So it's account unlocked. So it doesn't matter whether you start a new character tomorrow, you can eventually claim it once you get to level 11 or whatever it is that was required in order to get them. So yeah, that was pretty good and saved me a huge amount of time, because otherwise logging in 50 times takes a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
So I just had to do it 5 times, but somehow I managed to miss claiming the Assimilated Assault Cruiser on my main account. I did all the other ones, but I seem to have forgotten to do it. I think something happened and I got distracted.
Oh, yeah. See, I missed, I can tell you right now, I think I missed getting a couple of them. I ended up getting the Admiralty card for the Phoenix Admiralty card, and then the Assault Cruiser. And what came after that?
First was the Borg Duty Officer, then it was the Phoenix Smallcraft Admiralty card, and then the Assimilated Assault Cruiser Admiralty card. But the Phoenix Smallcraft one was actually a pretty good one as well.
Yeah, I've used it several times already in my Admiralty missions on my big admirals.
Yeah, because that removes all modifiers on all 3 areas, doesn't it?
Yep. I think it does. It definitely makes things, especially on those high science level ones, a little bit more palatable. So I think, Mike. I was going to say, Mikey's here.
Hi.
Hi, honey.
I am so sorry.
No, I'm so glad to tell me you got sleep.
Yes, I got sleep, but I think my phone is a brick.
Oh, no. Are you kidding?
I can't turn it on. I can't turn it off. I can't do anything. It's just sitting there. Like flashing.
Oh, my God, you poor thing.
So that is why I didn't show up, is my phone is my alarm clock and everything, and it's pretty much just dead.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
So, yeah, so I'm sorry I missed the show.
We are live.
I figured, I see the audience. Hi, everybody. So, miss you all.
Oh, you sound okay. Okay, I mean, I realize the emotional thing that goes with losing something that you've got so much information on. I totally understand. You know what I've been going through with my iPad. I'm just, frustrated.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll be able to recoup. Is there a place that you can take it to go get it fixed?
I think I just need to let the battery drain at this point.
Oh.
And then once it's drained, charge it up again, and hopefully it'll boot.
Yeah.
At that point, but
I hope so too. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
I'm glad you can't take the battery out.
That's not a bad idea. Can you?
The battery is not removable.
Yeah.
So.
See, my smartphone, the battery's not removable either.
Yeah, my new S7 is now unremovable. That's one of the things I liked about the other Galaxies is you could take the battery out, but yeah, this one you can't.
Oh, on the S7 you can't?
No.
Ooh, but you can take out the memory.
Yeah, you can take out the memory. It's to do with the way the new waterproof rating for the Galaxy
Oh,
S7.
I can understand. Yeah.
So rather than having like they had with the S5 and I think the S6, where each of the things were this sort of pluggable slot that you had, it hasn't got that. So, but now it means that you can't remove the battery.
Well, we are going to move on. We were just finishing talking about the games. Mike, was there anything specific you wanted to touch on about the games before we moved on? We talked about timelines.
Okay, so you went over my basic notes down below. Okay.
Yeah. We did. We talked about their appearance at PAX East. We even talked about Perfect World's appearance at PAX East.
Nice.
Which is great.
And they're having their little Disruptor Con.
Mm-hmm. Disruptor Con. I gave the dates and times and the link for the forum post and everything.
You're on it.
On it. And I didn't talk about how Admiral Riker, but I'm just.
Oh yeah, Admiral Riker is going to be part of that new cadet
challenges.
Cadet challenges, and I'm looking forward to that. He looks good. I have to say, he looks good.
I like the Admiral
in
Riker.
the game.
It's just annoying that I've recently just got rid of basically all my 1 and 2 star characters. So it's like, yay, something to do with 1 and 2 star characters. No, I've got to get rid of them all.
See?
Oh yeah.
And this is my problem too. I just quite frankly, just a couple of days ago, wiped out pretty much every 1 and 2 star I had.
Oh man. Well, you're going to be able to get some more.
That's true.
They're adding some new ones. And you know, so
I was like, I could only deal with so many Wesley Crushers. No offense.
Oh, I get rid of all the duplicates. I only have one unique character of everyone.
Right, but they're now leveling up.
Yeah. They're the ones that I focus all my attention on. But any duplicates, I airlock them.
Yeah, no, I've done that for most of them, though, because I needed some extra characters from doing the away missions, and especially to do with last week's event, I have actually got some duplicates back again, which I sort of leveled them up.
Oh, cool.
Because I've just got so many of them.
Right.
I thought, well, while I'm not struggling for character space, I thought I'll leave them alone. But yeah, as soon as I start needing some more, the duplicates will go bye-bye. But one thing to note about the cadet challenges is this will be a way to actually get some extra chronotons to play, which people have been crying out for.
Yeah.
I have to say, I am stingy with this game. I have 240 or so chronotons, and I purposely don't play for a very long time, but I'll log on and get the boosts.
Yeah, well, I've played like that.
Well, if you're below your maximum, they'll recharge. So when you're over your maximum, they do not recharge. So you're kind of stuck, you know, because you're getting the boost every 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But you can earn between 20 and 30 within that 3 hours if you just let it go.
Huh.
So you're kind of, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But you're also limiting your play to start with.
Yeah,
so.
That's true too. But whose fault is that, Disruptor Beam? Play the freaking game or not?
Your device is still giving you trouble though, correct?
I'm on Android now. I switched. I pulled it up onto the Android and it works fine.
Okay.
So, and actually much faster. So let's move on to, we did that. Oh, let's move on to unofficial productions.
I made something Star Trek. Unofficial productions.
There's really not tons to talk about, and I'll just say right off the bat, I have checked Pacer this morning as far as the Axanar lawsuit is concerned, and nothing new has been filed with the court. The last thing that was filed with the court was the motion to dismiss filed by Axanar back on March 28th. So we'll see what CBS's response will be. It could be the very same thing, and that is in another amended complaint or a opposition to the motion to dismiss or some other type of response that you never know. So nothing new has happened. You can always listen to last week's show where Janet went through a wonderful dissertation of the motion to dismiss. She's also done 2 blogs, one that covers the motion to dismiss and one that covers the request for judicial notice. That was also filed by Axanar's team. And that's kind of it. So not a whole lot of information there. However, what has the lawsuit has now started to affect, as we all feared, other fan productions.
Oh yeah, it has.
So one of the links that Mike gave me and that we were going to discuss today is the fact that Star Trek Continues has not only received its 501c3 tax exemption, which for those of us here in the United States, that's what's called a charitable organization status. That means that you can make a donation to Continues and it's actually tax deductible here in the United States as a charity because it's an educational material. And that's because they're going to be providing Star Trek Continues as a free for kids, anybody, in an educational kind of way to kind of help. Trust me when I say that they have a really amazing goals as far as using the spirit of Star Trek and the spirit of the original series in order to kind of ignite the idea of the love of space travel and
I'm looking them up right now.
IDIC and everything like that. However, their Kickstarter, not Kickstarter, Indiegogo, is falling behind pace right now. They are asking for what is it,
350,000 for
three and a half more episodes.
Yeah.
Right.
And they have
Now,
a
mind you,
stretch
they've
goal
got
of 450.
What was that, Steve? Sorry.
They also have a stretch goal for 450.
Yeah. And unfortunately, they've just crossed the 100 and something thousand mark.
109, I think.
And so it is falling behind pace. And there's an ongoing kind of a general consensus out there that the reason why is because of Axanar's ability to pretty much sting all of their donors for 1.1 million, and they're getting dick from it. And they will get dick from it. I hate to say it, but it's true. So I can understand that there's a hesitancy now for donors who are like, why should I give when there's a possibility that CBS will sue Star Trek Continues or just Continues, and keep them from doing what they're keeping Axanar from doing. And you know what? I can totally understand a donor's point of view on that.
Sadly, you've actually got Continues that are now halfway through their campaign, and they've only actually raised 31% of the funds that they really want to get. The thing is, Continues have been so good with their money that part of this for the 350 is to actually finish up episode 7, which they have actually already shot because they were so good with their money. They actually were able to film episode 7, and it's just the post-production costs that they need to in order to get that out. And
precisely.
Episode 6 coming up in May.
Right.
Well, not just that, but part of the previous Kickstarter was also to build the engineering set, which they did.
Mm-hmm.
It is now live and available for them to use, and I think we'll see it in 5 when that comes out. But they also had enough left over not only to shoot half of episode 6, or excuse me, half of episode 7, but also to build another mini set for that particular episode. So it's like they are very frugal with their money. They are very responsible with their money. I mean,
and because they are now a public nonprofit organization, as a member or a citizen of the United States. By the way, if you guys didn't know this, to rank and to become a nonprofit or a charitable organization, you have to open your books to the public, because the public is the tax-paying. We are the tax-paying entity that actually gets to say, our government, which is the people of the United States of America, as much as many of the people don't understand that, the people of the United States of America have said, yes, you are going to be, you are allowed to be a tax deductible, meaning you don't have to pay taxes like the rest of us do, because you're going to be providing a service to our children and to others who need to be inspired using your group as a tool for the advancement of science, education, and the like. So we are granting you this exemption from the income that you make to provide that. However, there's a caveat on that, and the caveat is we, as your exemptors, have the right to review your books at any time. So you have to make them public. So you have to make sure that we see what you're doing with your money and how much you're spending it on. A great example of that is the Susan G. Komen, the Breast Cancer Foundation, right? They're the people who started the pink ribbon shit.
mm-hmm.
A couple of years ago, there was a huge brouhaha about the fact that the Susan G. Komen Foundation spends a gargantuan amount or percentage of its income for administrative purposes, right? Meaning salaries, marketing, creation of pink ribbon stuff, and that only a small percentage of it actually goes to breast cancer research. The only reason why that came out was because they're a public tax-deferred corporation. They are a nonprofit charitable organization. We have the right to look into that, and they must publish it. So that's kind of what Mike has put the link into here. There's a PDF that shows the public application for their nonprofit status,
which includes
the financials
as not as created by Vic or anyone else except a certified and
third-party
accountant. So this is what is required. This is what was accepted. This is what they submitted, and this is what they got. And this gave them their tax exempt status. This is available for anyone and everyone to check out and look at. You can see something I found interesting.
What's that?
Two of Vic and one other of the big executive producers, they put in money. They take money out.
It's kind of like what I do. It's kind of like what I do with G&T, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we take in we take in some money to help us with the servers and actually keeping us on the air. But when it comes to marketing and anything else, the show, that comes out of my own pocket. So, that's, and we travel and we pay for our own travel. We don't ask our donors to pay for us to market the show because I don't think that that's cool. The fact of the matter is, if you want to listen to us, you've been kind enough to pitch in that money here and there during our annual thing, and that pays for our server costs. It pays for our chat room. It pays for the software. It pays for our web hosting, and
we just
that's it.
Our streaming.
We just renewed our streaming. Yeah.
So we are. Yeah.
So it is very important for everybody to know that, I'm heartbroken. I really am. I'm heartbroken that things aren't going very well for Continues because donors are rightfully concerned. I really do believe that donors absolutely have a right to be concerned, and they should be asking these very difficult, hard questions of any crowdfunding now when it comes to fan fiction or fan productions. They just have to. And that's just the ultimate. We knew it was going to happen when Axanar got sued.
Now, isn't it Axanar who are saying that they've applied for this same sort of status?
That's the allegation, but none of us have seen the application, which again are public.
Also, not only have they said that they've already applied, but they have also even more. This happened right after Continues announced that they had applied. Axanar said that they applied, yet I think it was like 2-3 weeks ago that they said that they finally got an accountant and they're starting to go over their books. So,
I think the horse is already out of that barn.
I think it's a little late, but it just seems...
if they have already applied, then why is it they haven't been and done this transparency thing they talk about and actually given that to the donors?
Exactly.
Because
well, they're still
presented the books from a third-party accountant. Then
right.
I'm sorry.
Well, there was nobody. Yeah. See, the problem is none of us know how many bank accounts there are, what bank accounts donor money got put into, what bank accounts money or donor money got pulled out of, what was funded, what corporations got what money, and whether or not all of it went into Alex's personal checking account first, which it very may well have. Although I can't. Well, let's put it this way. Part of me is like, if you want to put in an amount of money into an account that's only insured by the federal government for $100,000 or maybe even $500,000, it's your idiocy, not mine. But the fact of the matter is that we have zero information about where donor money was put and how it was spent. And now it looks like there's nothing left. People who are asking for donations, returns on their donations, are getting rejected, as you can pretty much, that doesn't surprise me. We knew they would be, because I don't think that there's any money left. That's part of the reason why they want to quote unquote sell this lease because they've already prepaid for 3 years. Pardon me, they makes me so angry. They've already prepaid for the rent on a studio. This is for a studio for 3 years when a feature film, even if you were, here's the thing, right? Okay, so how long does it take to make a feature film?
I don't think it takes 3 years
Okay,
unless you're really, really bad at it.
Well,
Yeah,
let's
okay.
see. You had Tommy Kraft, who took 4 years to do his feature film
But
on
he
his own,
was-
basically.
One
But
person.
It was one person by
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
So that's 4
But it
years,
was only-
one person, 3 years for an entire crew.
He also Tommy Kraft also said it took him I think like 20 days to film.
Right. And even when you're given $150 million like Justin Lin and Peg, they announced Star Trek Beyond. They knew that it was going to be, then they pushed back that. So we're looking at about pre-production to post-production. We're looking at about 1.5 years. Total filming time of about 3 months. They don't like to take more than 90 days. Maybe even 120 days to film a project. You set it, you schedule it, you've got your script, you go with it. And yes, scripts get tweaked as you move along. And then, like with Star Trek Beyond, you end up with a couple of needs, and you need to kind of go back and do filming again, right? Like they did with Agadashlu.
Or something didn't quite come across. Yeah.
And so you need to fill in, or you need to do vocal looping, which means
yeah.
you have to loop in the voiceover for the characters.
Some guy in the back, he coughed at the inopportune moment. It's
right,
like,
or you've got to get the Wilhelm scream in there a couple of times. Just
Someone's very noisy opening a sushi box. Oh, sorry, Anne.
But in the big scheme of things, a $150 million film gets done in 1.5 years. You don't need 3 years for a fan production.
Well, he allowed time for the carpets to be installed. That's what it was.
So that's what kind of makes me angry is that now we understand Tommy is going to be starting a apparently that wasn't, we didn't know that. Nobody knows that. You can cut that.
Nobody knows that. Nobody knows the details yet.
Okay, nobody. Well, that's because we don't know the details.
We don't know the details, but he does have something up his sleeve.
Okay, well then we're going to be talking to Tommy in the future, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, we don't know. We do well. We kind of know, but we can't say anything. But yeah.
Well, either
That's
way,
something
I'm
we can
concerned,
obviously-
regardless of who it is, whether
Yeah.
it's Tommy, whether it's Continues, whether it's I think Renegades might be done. I hate to say it, but I think they might be done, and who knows? Maybe that's for the best for them. I don't know. I haven't heard anything coming out from Renegades as to whether or not they were actually going to follow through on any of their series. Maybe they got it at C&D and nobody knows. I don't know. Has anybody heard from anybody from Renegades?
I have not. I know that they were their fundraiser fell a little bit short, but because I think it was on Indiegogo. They got some of their money, but they were shooting for like $1 million for two 1 hour episodes.
Boom! That's a lot of money, dudes.
Last that they posted, which was several weeks back, was that they're still looking for funding and they're accepting donations through their website for episode 2. And they did release that they are looking to have people do some blogs for them. So if they wanted to be on there, they just had to email it in. And there's some instructions on their website.
So they are still around, but they've been cut.
Yeah,
deeply.
I
They've
know
been
that.
wounded. Yeah.
I know they've also are working on other projects, as well, because, Renegades is not their full-time job.
Right. Oh God, no.
So-
And that's the thing is that it's not anybody's. It Continues isn't a full-time job. Renegades, all of those people have other careers. Tim Russ is directing another project right now.
He's working on Junkie with some of our friends. Yeah.
It
Right.
almost sounds like these other productions are fan films.
No,
What's
they're not
that?
fan films.
No, they're not. They're
No.
completely.
I meant Renegades. And
Oh, yes. Yes.
Exactly,
they are
Steve.
fan films.
Good point. They are fan films made by
That
people who
almost
have other
rules
lives.
forever.
Yes. It's very frustrating, and I'm heartbroken to see, but not surprised. I'm heartbroken and not surprised that a lot of other fan productions are getting the side eye from the donors and from the fandom, and that is why do we want to risk our money like we did with Axanar and get nothing in return, and we don't get our money back.
Well,
And that's a frustrating thing.
I had written on Facebook yesterday, and if you don't mind, I would like to kind of sort of paraphrase what I had written.
Please.
Because 49 years ago, Star Trek fans saved Star Trek, and here we are, today, and it's because of Star Trek fans that Star Trek fan films are dying. I find that sad.
I have a feeling, well, I don't know. I think we're hitting a really bad bump in the road. No doubt. I really do. I think what is dying and what may end up, unfortunately, being the truth, and that is high budget and big budget fan films will be a thing of the past. And that if you want something that quote unquote looks professional, or unless you're something like Tommy Kraft and Horizon and being able to do it on the cheap, and I think that polished thing that everybody was kind of going for, I think that's what's going to go by the wayside. Do I think that fan productions are going away? No. I think fan fiction is going to be around forever. I think that fan productions are going to be around forever as long as they do what they used to do. Again, made by people who weren't professionals, who don't take salaries, who produce something that the stories might be great, and then we all share it together, and we take the shit that we already have, and that is, it sucks, man. Fan fiction sucks because it's not like real. The same crap we've been getting all our lives, right? We all write.
Yeah.
You and I both write fanfic, and some people hate it. Some people, I've gotten some like, man, your shit sucks. And I'm like, for you, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
okay, it's fan fiction. No, I'm not a pro. But I'm having fun, and I'm sharing it with other people who I have fun with. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Thank you for reading. Goodbye.
Yeah, seriously, big deal. But I have fun with it, and I love to read other people's takes. I mean, I'm still to this day, I'm so taken with Pava Laragos as a character that's made by somebody else. Oh my God, it's Michael. It's not Garcia. Mike Garcia. Who is it? It's
The Red Feather guy.
Red Feather. Oh my God. His character of Pava Laragos is still in my own brain. He will always be one of my favorite Star Trek characters, even though he's never been seen on screen.
He only exists in fan fiction.
He only exists in fan fiction, and
Wow.
he's like one of the most compelling characters I've ever read. Would I love to see Red Feather get a check so he could write Pava for? You bet your ass. I would love to see it. It'll never happen. It'll never happen. But but the beauty is that fan wrote something from his heart that I got to read that I loved, and I shared that with him on a fan level. And I'll never lose that. That's something that spoke to my heart. That character is so compelling that I thought, you know what, I get that now. That's what the fandom gets to share. Now, that's kind of what fan fiction and fan productions have always been. It's like, we're going to share from the heart. If you like it, fine. If you don't, fine. We shouldn't be looking to be the next Star Trek. We're just playing in somebody else's sandbox. We're just playing, and CBS has this amazing sandbox that we all get to build in. We get our little Tonka trucks out there, and we're, beep, 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 and we're building our castles. And then, the problem is you've got somebody like Axanar coming in and shitting on everything. And now we all have to wait while CBS pulls out the litter box grates and pulls the shit out one by one and flicks it into the trash while we all wait and then they have to sterilize it, right? Then the sandbox will be open again and we can go play. But you better believe that we are going to be far more discerning as about who we let in and say, you know what?
This whole process is going to probably take a couple of years.
I think it will. I think it's going to take a couple of years, Steve. I really do. I think you're right. Okay, so that was that.
Well, one last thing, really, really quick about it.
Please.
I'm just gonna say, if you want to support Star Trek Continues, if you like Star Trek Continues, please support them. They need your help to try to get their goal and try to complete the. They have a plan. They have a plan for 13 episodes. That's all they want to create, but they need to get there. But this is only for 3.5 more episodes. So help them get there so they can complete their plan and complete the 5-year mission for the Enterprise.
And speaking of 5-year mission.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, do you want to put the link in or do you want me to?
I will.
Okay.
In addition to this, there was another one, but I'll have to track it down.
Another one, a 5-year?
Yes.
Oh, we love the peeps over at 5-year mission. We love them. We give them squeezy hugs and shit. I love them. 5-year mission, of course. Great band. We get to use their music in our show. Thank you so much, you guys. We love you very much. And in doing so, we also get to partake and enjoy the new videos that come out. And this one was just awesome. It's called The Givers of Pain and Delight.
We debuted this song before the album release.
Yes, they did.
It's like super short. It's like
45 seconds long.
Yeah, and the video is awesome. It's just them smashing
It's just
television.
pretty much smashing and screaming. It's pretty awesome. But give it, cool. It's pretty funny. I love them much. So hi to Fark and everybody and Mikey and everybody over at 5-year mission. We love you and congrats on the new stuff. I'm so excited that we're going to see them at Star Trek Las Vegas.
Yep.
So I think that's a good segue.
Just watch the video. It's almost like someone said, yeah, we're clearing out an office, but I've got no idea what to do with these old CRT monitors. I know.
Let's smash them.
Sledgehammer.
Smash them.
There is a new video circulating for the Omega Glory. This video is or this song is for their next album. It's so it's a preview, and it is let's see, here it is. I just found the link. So just 1 second.
No, it's quite all right.
This is a live performance that someone recorded or someone from associated with the band recorded and then put online. But you can get an idea for one of the songs that are going to be in their next album, which I think is totally cool. So yeah,
very, very cool. Yay! Thank you, Mikey. Appreciate you putting that in. That's very fun.
Convention news.
Again, as you know, the 5-year mission will be the house band for Star Trek Las Vegas STLV 50 in August of this year. I'm very excited to see them again. I'm just so excited to see them back on the stage because I think they're a great fit for the convention. And also the anything new coming up with? Oh, they did. They announced that Eleanor Donahue will be attending Star Trek Las Vegas again. Now, if anybody remembers her from outside of Star Trek, you would bet she was probably best well known for playing Betty in Father Knows Best. For those of us who are a certain age, Betty was the oldest daughter in Father Knows Best, but she played Federation Commissioner Nancy Hedford in Metamorphosis in the original series. So it's nice to see her, and will be beautiful to see her at Star Trek Las Vegas.
She was in Andy Griffith's show.
Oh my God, she was so. She was on everything.
Days of Our Life. Yeah. I mean, some of these are pretty cool. But it looks like she did a lot of time on soap operas, so that's cool.
Yeah, and she'll be appearing on Wednesday as well as doing autographs and photo ops on that day as well.
Yep. It looks like a lot of the TNG crew have signed on, so that's good that a lot of them are going to be there.
Yep. So Brent Spiner, Michael Dorn, Marina Sirtis. And speaking of we can just jump over to Star Trek Mission New York. Again, September 2nd through 4th at the Javits Center in New York City. The GNT show will be there. We will have at least 2 or 3 representatives there. Not sure in what format will be there yet. We have put in for press passes. We just haven't had them approved yet. And either that or we're just going to be attending. Just be one or the other. But LeVar Burton and Marina Sirtis and Michael Dorn and Terry Farrell have all announced that they will be guests at Star Trek Mission New York, which I think is going to be very fun, as well as William Shatner, of course.
Should be interesting.
And what's this? Exploring New Worlds. Roddenberry Adventures. Oh, hi, Roddenberry Adventures. Hi, Jim. They are going to be doing a VIP tour of the Star Trek Exploring New Worlds section at the EMP Museum in Seattle.
Yeah, from what I understand, this is going to kick off, let's see, an exclusive peek of the new Star Trek exhibit gallery, special behind-the-scenes museum orientation and tour, self-guided museum tour, and 50th anniversary lapel pin and Roddenberry Adventures decal are some of the perks.
Oh,
for
it
the
already
VIP
happened.
Tour. Did it already?
Yeah,
April
it was
8th?
the day before yesterday. It was sold out, which is great. It did. It happened on April 8th,
Okay.
right? So I hope everybody and anybody who went had a good time. And if you did go, please let us know. We would love to hear what it was like, because this is the first kind of official.
Emerald City Comic Con. It was part of that.
And it, again, one of those things, part of the reason why we were talking earlier with Steve and I was like, this was one of those kind of official little exhibits that CBS has been putting together for the 50th anniversary.
And I believe this was its first stop. The exhibit is going on tour after
Very
this.
cool.
So
Nice.
I'm not sure where the next stop is at the moment, but I believe it's going to be on the road soon. I think it's still there. You can still go to the EMP Museum and check it out. But,
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
But yeah, I think it'll be hitting the road at some point, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, believe it or not, we are kind of on time. We got through all the links.
Wow, that never happens.
We even talked about Axanar briefly. Who knew, right? And we are not going to be doing a 50 for 50 this week because pretty much three of our Alan is on a cruise to Mexico.
Lucky bastard.
I know. Bastard. Fuck. My husband goes on a cruise without me, with my best friend, no less. Well, it'll be, I already laughed and I said, so how many, because my best friend is gay. I was like, so how many people think that you're Jim's husband? Because I'm loving that. I think that's hilarious.
Right
and then Nick, of course, is celebrating his honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers to you, Mr.
Congratulations,
Nick.
Nick.
Congratulations to you and Melanie.
He sent an email and he says that he misses everyone and sends their greetings.
Oh, he does not miss us. Are you kidding? He's on a honeymoon.
Okay, he doesn't miss us. But
All right. Thank
he
you.
did send
God,
you
be
the
honest, you
cards.
jackwad. Okay. And then poor Miss Janet is feeling a little under the weather today, so we're letting her sleep in. And again, nothing happened as far as the legal side on Axanar, but it's always nice to have her with us, even if nothing legal happens with Axanar. So we do miss you, Janet, and we'll catch you next week for episode 233. And we will discuss, do we have the 50 for 50 in front of us, Mike? What are
Yes, it is number 18, DS9, season 7, episode 8, The Siege of AR-558. And number 17, TNG, season 2, episode 9, Measure of a Man.
2 outstanding episodes, and we will see, and please join us next week when we will discuss those as well. And I need to send out a very special thanks to Steve again this week for helping me
Thank you,
get
Steve.
my virtual cables all set up again, because they all got lost, and hey, I'm broadcasted. I'm a big girl.
Awesome.
Anyways.
And once again, I do apologize for...
No,
my
I'm glad
tardiness.
you're okay. We were a little worried. We thought, oh my God, I hope Mike's okay. But thank you, Midnight Shadow. It was
Thank you, Steve.
so nice to have you there, and go to sleep now.
That's not gonna happen.
I was gonna say,
Too much to do.
any announcements before we break away, Mike?
I have something to say. Announcements.
Sports Show. They recorded their first episode last night.
Excellent.
It will be out today, so keep an eye out.
Please, you guys,
show notes.
If give him a support. I love Scott so much. He's such a great guy, and he's so excited about this. He's a very talented sports writer, and I'm very excited to see what he's going to be doing with his first podcast.
He said that they had a lot of fun, but they him and his three friends who that do the show. He said that they just breathed a big sigh of relief when it was over. Over with.
Yeah.
Do you remember those days?
I do. I do. Now it's just like, yeah, what the fuck? I don't care.
Yeah. Now it's like, I gotta go pee and scratch my butt.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's funny how it happens where it's like, okay, I gotta go. 2-hour bladder. And that's kind of it. So thanks again, Steve, for joining me. Mike, thank you for popping in, and I'm glad you were able to. I'm glad you're okay. I love you.
Yeah, I love you.
Okay. Until next week. By the way, Steve, you better have your tagline ready. Until next week, join us for episode 233. We'll do 50 for 50 and talk about whatever new news comes up for Star Trek. Until then, live long and prosper.
Kabla.
True.
Music for the GNT show is provided by 5-Year Mission, Enterprise Blues Band, Warp 11, Andrew Allen, and Grethor. The GNT show is a BLB production.
Move ahead, walk back to 10. Put a mini skirt on Mayo Man. Represent the human race. And we make space a happy place. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Gonna travel to new worlds. Beam on down and meet some green girls. Gonna see what we can see. A fancy-free galaxy. To boldly go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Come and take a tour with me. There'll be no cons or Kobe.